Are tight muscles holding you back from reaching your fitness goals? Then tune into this and see just how a few adjustments in the training phase dedicated to addressing your weaknesses will help you reach your goals. Hey everyone, it's me Chris, BodyNov Fitness Coaching, and I'm going to tell you about working with a client of mine, and it applies to a lot of us older fitness people who are aggressively going after goals, because I know a lot of people that fall into my age group, they're afraid to train like they need to train to get the results they want to get because they're afraid of getting hurt or afraid of getting injured. Sometimes it's not due to age, it's due to lifestyle and how your posture adjusts to that lifestyle. And I'll give you an example. This was a client of mine. I worked with him pretty close to 2 years, about a year and a half, almost 2 years. And what it was with him is he was recovering from a stroke. Okay, but we got him to where he could start his lifting and stuff over with. But there was one major problem he had is he was getting little injuries, back, shoulders, and things like that. So I run a test on him to see how his posture is. And one of the things that I find is he has trouble reaching his arm overhead. Okay. So what we did was we made a training phase. We dedicated about a month to 6 weeks of his training just to correcting imbalances. Now, a lot of people who sell these type of things, they try to keep you in that forever because they think they can correct them and race them. And sometimes it's like you're swimming upstream because the way that you live. So if you're a sitting person a lot, if you sit a lot, if you sit 8 hours a day, you sit 8 hours a day hunched over at a desk like this, muscles are going to shorten to make you more comfortable in those positions. So it's going to be hard to do enough training or be able to correct things that are in your daily posture and behavior. What you try to do is you make your body stronger in those weak places so you can better tolerate it, or you don't get too far into bad posture and you can remain somewhat functional. And this is what we did here. We didn't correct everything, we didn't erase everything, and we just made it better, made it easier for it to tolerate it. So getting into this, one of the things was it was very difficult for him to shoulder press. Okay, so if he can't shoulder press more than 15, 20 pounds and stay in good pressure, good posture, or avoid injury, things like that, eventually that's not going to be enough weight for him to train with, for him to reach his fitness. That's the problem that most people are going to have when they're trying to, when they're being very conservative and training very light. The body has no reason to change, so it's not going to change. So what we had to do is we had to fix it so he can get into good position to shoulder press. Because what happened is he would try to shoulder press, and then his left arm all of a sudden would drop down, or he would just lose control with the left arm, especially when things got heavy or when he got tired. Okay, so one of the things we look at with a lot of people where it's very difficult for them to raise their arms overhead or to get into good position to shoulder press, most people would say, hey, it's the shoulder. Fix the shoulder, stretch the shoulder, stretch the shoulder. And it's not the shoulder. Shoulder is fine. Okay. What muscle prevents you from reaching overhead or allows you to pull your arms down from reaching overhead? Because that's what's happening. His arms being pulled down. It's your lats. His lat was tight. His lats were tight on both sides, but especially on the left side. So what we had to do is we had to give him some drills that would pull him into good posture, but also we had to do some targeted stretching. Again, most people stretch the shoulder, which would be wrong. In this case, they wouldn't fix anything. The shoulder's not the problem. The lat was the problem. So we stretched his lats. And we did weighted stretching. Sometimes we did PNF or whatever to get that lat to lengthen. And then in later phases, he did pull-ups beforehand, and at the end of his last set of pull-ups, he would hang on the bar, and that would stretch out his lats. Once his lats got stretched out and allowed for better movement, he was able to get into good position to shoulder press. Once he got in good position to shoulder press, stayed in good position to shoulder press, the quality of his workouts improved, and he was able to push harder, push harder, push harder, gain the muscle that he wanted to gain. So that's part of the deal is with us older folk is not always, sometimes we always look at the muscle that we believe is the problem or the obvious problem. Sometimes we look at our back and we stretch our back and the real problem is our hip flexors. In this case, reaching overhead is limited by your lat. It's not limited by your shoulders. So we had to lengthen those lat muscles to allow him to get overhead more so that when he shoulder pressed, he got into better position and better position without as much compensation. Some people will do, they'll compensate here, get that overhead, and that's not so much a good thing. Another thing is I also adjusted the incline of the shoulder, the bench to shoulder pressing. I adjusted it slightly downward so it's easier for him to get into position, to get into good position. But anyway, as I say these things, adding a phase of improving your structural balance, improving your posture, and the way that you move will go a long way toward allowing you to train harder and hit those muscles that you're trying to work more efficient.